Hello, everybody.
All right, let's get the camera set up here. Oh, sorry about the disorientation. And, all right. How's it going? Good, good. Good. Glad to hear it. All right. Let me find my notes. I'm Dave, and I'm sure you all know me, maybe not. But it's Monday night here, November 15th, 2021. It's been a while since my last update, during which I had indicated that I felt I could hit a personal milestone on this Get a Life project of mine. Pleased to report that my assessment of the situation seems to be holding up as the days roll on. Life has its ups and downs, and my brain chemistry has rolling hills and valleys, but overall I remain committed day by day to doing my best in adopting a mindset of growth and virtue. Hour one of today, for example, involved a light breakfast, 15 minutes of qigong stretches, a cup of coffee, half an hour in front of my sun lamp, which is set elevated above my eye line for maximum effect, lifted weights for about 10 minutes. I'm still working with 10-pound water weights. It takes a lot longer to build muscle than it did when I was much younger, but results are coming in. And I can squat lower and hold awkward poses and positions longer, getting some flexibility back. I walked a half hour today, which seems sustainable at my current weight. In recent days, I've taken longer walks of up to 5 kilometers, but that's very stressful on my frame and requires a day or two of napping and wincing to recuperate. I've been reading some fantastic stuff and listening to some neat podcasts and lectures. I do try to learn something every day. I'm forging the habit of making my evening time a ritual of reflection. I have several journals for writing down what I'm learning and for taking notes about my day, for practicing gratitude and interoception. Other than that, I should mention, I suppose, that I just took my first cold shower about half an hour ago. It wasn't as bad as I expected. I find if you don't resist the sensation, then it becomes almost pleasant. It's a matter, I guess, of reframing perception of the cold, so that you don't perceive it as painful. Why would I do such a crazy thing, you ask? Well, it's because I heard that it raises dopamine and adrenaline levels for up to 2 days, and also that triggering the shiver reflex helps to burn fat off. So it's a thing I'm curious about, and I'm experimenting with it. As always, the first thing to do when building a habit is to master the art of showing up and worry about optimizing it later. So the plan is to get back on the horse again tomorrow, take another cold shower, then another, push a bit further each time, spike the dopamine, push through the resistance. We'll see how that goes. I'd appreciate you wishing me some luck. I've been researching weight loss mindset and science somewhat half-assedly. I got to be honest, my concentration and focus has been a bit weaker in recent days, so I'm not retaining as much information as I feel I could be or should be, but that's okay, right? There's no performance, only practice, so I figure I'll keep at it, and I'll eventually get back on track, I'm sure. The one gem I was able to take away was the name of a miracle weight loss drug called semaglutide. That's SEMAGLUTIDE. I won't bore you too much with the details, but I'm going to see about getting my hands on some and give it a try. It's supposed to be the best shit for weight loss since bariatric surgery, as it's basically just straight up appetite killer. So we'll see. That's the Dave report, I guess, in a nutshell. As far as content goes this week, I wanted to say a few words specifically about something important I've learned about managing neurotransmitters. So if you spend any time watching Andrew Huberman or Anna Lemke talking about the subject of dopamine, they'll lay some of this stuff out pretty well, but essentially there's something called a pleasure-pain balance, where excess is confiscated by a leveling out of the scales, if I understand that correctly. So key takeaways to keep in mind are we all have a dopamine set point. So if we continue to participate in dopamine stimulating activities, eventually we won't experience the same joy from those behaviors. Pleasure-pain balance is based on how much dopamine is there and how much is ready to be released into the system. Okay? If you do something which releases huge levels of dopamine, like win that marathon you've been training for or whatever, so pleasure drops because there isn't enough dopamine to release afterwards. That's why there's always like a big come down after a big win, right? And then dopamine levels can drop in imperceptible ways until it reaches a threshold of low dopamine and we don't get pleasure from anything anymore. So I think the upshot of all this is if you just endlessly spike dopamine every day in a quest for perfection, you're going to get kind of manic and then maybe burn out or suffer a huge crash. I was certainly aware of the possibility, but yeah, sure enough, I did find, things were, I was getting a little bit intense there. In my case, it's possible that full-blown psychosis might even result, I suppose. So, as I kind of realized I was walking towards that cliff a little bit, in recent days, I decided to purposely ground myself by goofing off for a couple of days. I very deliberately played some computer games, watched some pleasurable television. I just wanted to let things settle. I wanted to have a weekend, I guess, change of pace. It was almost like falling off the horse on purpose, with an understanding that what I was really committed to was mastering the art of getting back on the horse every day, thereby making time my ally and anti-entropy strategy, if you will. All right. I guess that's all for this week. I very much appreciate the time you took to check in and see how I was doing. When it all comes down to dust, I think I'm doing the best I can. I often wish it was more. I guess it kind of has to be enough, so let it be enough. I think that future Dave, the more refined, practiced, virtuous version of Dave, will do better. So maybe he'll make up some of the deficit. Very quickly, I want to acknowledge the work of Ryan Holiday, a young fellow who just came to my attention in recent days. He's written several books about Greek stoicism, which are apparently quite impressive, and I'm looking forward to checking out his work. I will link to some interviews he's done in the comments section below. All right, so thanks again for stopping in. Remember to be the change you want to see in the world. And namaste. Good night to you all. I'll see you soon.